Kai Havertz, is he the biggest waste of £65 million or is he a future star striker? Former Arsenal captain Granit Xhaka was playing the best football of his career last season at Arsenal. He was sensational in the number 8 position, doing his defensive duties and banging in lots of goals in attack. So Arsenal decided to sell Xhaka in the summer to Bayer Leverkusen, and right now Leverkusen are first in the German league, with Xhaka being one of their best players. Now when Xhaka was sold, Arsenal fans weren't too upset because they always felt that the number 8 position in midfield could do with a little improving. But fans were baffled when Arsenal paid a lot of money to sign Kai Havertz from Chelsea to replace Granit Xhaka. Havertz, who's more known as an attacking midfielder / striker over a classic deep line midfielder. But such is the credit Mikel Arteta has built amongst the Arsenal fans, they were optimistic about the Havertz signing. They were told Havertz can be moulded into a midfield number 8. He can make the late runs and score goals more than Xhaka used to, so an upgraded version of Xhaka. Now the theory from Arteta sounded good, because Havertz is a natural goal scorer. Therefore Arsenal should have more goal scoring threats in their team. But what wasn't discussed much is, can he do the other stuff that's expected from a number 8? Something Xhaka was brilliant at, he was underrated at, and that's the defensive work, controlling the midfield and long range passes, because Havertz has never shown those qualities. So in his first few games for Arsenal, Havertz starts in the deep line midfield position, and instantly he struggles. He does not look comfortable there at all. Fans started questioning him already, and then few more games pass and Arsenal fans had just had enough. The verdict was in. Havertz cannot be the Granit Xhaka replacement Arsenal were looking for. Havertz looks lost in midfield. His positioning is often awful. He can't even get in the box at the right time without leaving big gaps in midfield. And when he is subbed off for players like Fabio Silva and Jorginho, Arsenal's midfield improved. So that's not a good look for Havertz. So to pile that on, these bad performances meant his confidence went down, and he even struggled to do the very thing Arteta brought him in for, and that's actually score goals. The squad even gave him a pity penalty in a 4-0 victory to give him some confidence in front of goal. But now this doesn't mean Havertz can't develop into a good midfielder, because he may in the future, because Arteta is a great coach. But Mikel Arteta did not spend £65 million to buy a work in progress. No, he needs a ready-made midfielder. Arsenal fans are wondering, shouldn't have Arteta just bought in a like-for-like replacement, considering how close this Arsenal team was to winning the Premier League last season? So after a few bad performances, Havertz is dropped to the bench. But, and this is a big but, Havertz is sometimes making a massive difference when he comes off the bench, especially considering he comes on as a forward and not as a midfielder. And this is why Arsenal should consider him making a full-time forward and not a midfielder. Havertz's versatility, which was also a key component of his big massive fee of £65 million. Now this versatility, he started showing it when he started playing as a forward. For example, against Man City, he came off the bench and held the ball up from a long pass. He passed it to Martinelli, and then Martinelli scored the winning goal. Havertz does the same thing again against Chelsea. He comes off the bench, he wins a header, holds up the ball, and then passes it on, which eventually leads to a goal. So this is where maybe Havertz was destined to play all along, up front, because in Germany, Havertz made his name as a number 10. He was known for his goals, not his midfield ability. Havertz famously scored the winning goal in a Champions League final, playing for Chelsea against Man City. So making Havertz Arsenal's new striker is the only way Arteta can make Havertz into a success, or else it's looking like a £65 million flop. But the question is, do Arsenal need Havertz to play as a striker? The answer is yes, they absolutely do, because up front arguably is one of Arsenal's weakest positions in the whole team. Gabriel Jesus, who's their main striker, is a really good player, but he isn't a pure striker, and sometimes his finishes let him down. And he's also too much of a dribbler at times, makes him too much similar to Martinelli and Xhaka, which leads to Arsenal becoming too one-dimensional. And then you also have Eddie Nketiah. He's a good backup striker, but he cannot be Arsenal's main striker, as he just doesn't have the qualities to be a top number 9. Also, Nketiah and Jesus are also very similar type of players. Havertz is the total opposite of a player. He's tall, he's strong, he can hold up the ball, and he's got good link-up play. And this makes Arsenal more dynamic, the fact that they can bring on Havertz up front. So due to Havertz's ability to play as a striker and Arsenal's need for a striker, Havertz has to play up front. Havertz has shown he can outmuscle strong defenders like Ruben Diaz and John Stones. During his Chelsea days, he showed that he can finesse the ball into the net. Havertz has shown he can score in the most pressurized situations, like in the Champions League final where he scored the winning goal. Even in his Bayern Leverkusen days, he showed that he can score in high volume numbers if he's given the chance and the team is built centered around him. Mikel Arteta should use his brilliant coaching abilities to train Havertz to become the next Dimitar Berbatov or Van Persie, not the next Granit Xhaka, as Havertz's abilities and attributes lean towards Berbatov or Van Persie. And Havertz doesn't even need to be the main focal point for goals, as Arsenal already have Xhaka, Martinelli and Odegaard who can also be big goal threats. But Mikel Arteta is a maverick. He's a genius coach who loves his own decisions and he will do what he likes. So who knows if he's going to be stubborn and play Havertz as a midfielder, or if he's going to make Havertz into Arsenal's new striker. Because there is a fear that if Havertz continues in midfield, he's going to be a massive £65 million flop. Havertz has not shown he's capable of being a deep line midfielder. He can't track back in defence. He can't even do long distance passings. Although Havertz is a good presser of the ball and he does have good intensity. So it makes him a good pressing forward, like a Jamie Vardy type. This therefore means in January or in the next summer transfer window, instead of Arsenal trying to sign a new striker, they should concentrate on signing a new midfielder, a new number 8. Buying the right midfield partner for Declan Rice could be more beneficial to Arsenal than to keep Havertz in midfield and try sign a new striker like Ivan Toney. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe if you enjoyed the content.